Okay, get this. No culinary degree. Never owned a restaurant. Yet, Rachael Ray somehow built a $100 million empire just by showing people how to make dinner in 30 minutes. Welcome to The Deep Dive. We're the show that unpacks the often surprising minds behind real wealth and careers that actually last. And today, we're not looking at some Michelin-starred genius or a tech titan.
Nope. We're diving into Rachael Ray. You know her name, obviously quick meals, that cheerful energy. But behind all that familiarity, honestly, one of the most underrated business minds out there, especially in food and media.
It's fascinating because her empire, it wasn't built on incredible cooking talent or years of formal training.
Exactly. The real secret, if you dig into it, seems to be this almost uncanny instinct for what regular, busy people actually need. And then, crucially, a fearless strategy to scale that insight everywhere.
So that's our big question today. How do you take a simple idea, a 30-minute meal, and spin it into a brand that spans generations, touches millions, and builds, a $100 million legacy? Let's get into it. Right. So to really understand Rachael Ray's whole financial approach, you kind of have to go back to the beginning. She definitely wasn't aiming to get rich.
Oh, not at all. She talked about this in a 2024 interview, I think it was, with People. Early on, she was living on just $40 a week for food. That was it.
$40.
Yeah.
That sounds incredibly tight. How did that even work? And how did it shape her?
Well, the amazing thing is, it wasn't just a limitation, it became her content. That exact constraint led directly to her show, $40 a day. Remember that one?
Vaguely, yeah. She'd go to different cities.
Right, and try to eat well on just $40. It ran from 2002 to 2005. It wasn't just a TV idea, it was basically her life, just packaged for TV. Yeah. And that experience, I think, it really cemented her philosophy. True value isn't about luxury stuff. It's about solving real problems lots of people have every single day.
So she chased relatability, not the cash itself.
Pretty much. And the money, it followed. While other celebrity chefs were doing, truffle oil and complex techniques, Rachael was showing you how to make dinner fast.
Yeah, she had that famous line, "I'm not a chef, I'm a cook, and I cook for real life." That lack of pretense was everything.
Totally. She wasn't trying to impress anyone. She was trying to help. And that's why she just exploded on Food Network in the early 2000s. She gave a voice to, the working parents, the students, anyone who felt guilty they didn't want to spend hours cooking. She made them feel seen.
And from a financial perspective, that was kind of genius, wasn't it?
Oh, absolutely revolutionary for the time. She didn't build a luxury brand. She built a mass market trust brand designed purely for scale. Think about it. Cookware at Walmart and Target. Cookbooks focused on speed. She was monetizing simplicity.
Especially hitting at times when people needed that simplicity, right? Post 9/11, the 2008 crash.
Exactly. People didn't need more complexity, they needed confidence. And she sold them that confidence in the kitchen. Her financial brilliance wasn't about huge profit margins on expensive items. It was about maximizing reach. She solved that universal problem. I'm tired, I'm busy, but I still want to cook something decent. That tapped into a huge multi-billion-dollar market without ever needing a fancy label.
It really drives home that point. You don't always need to sell expensive things to build serious wealth.
You just need to sell something millions of people need, trust, and, feel like they can't live without. For her, that answer was right there in the kitchen.
So before the Emmys, before the magazine, before Nutrish Pet Food, where did this all start? It wasn't Food Network from day one.
No, not at all. Her path was pretty unconventional. Mid-90s, she was actually working at a Macy's candy counter.
Seriously? Candy counter?
Yep. Then moved into gourmet food and eventually landed a job as a food buyer for a place called Cowan and Lobel, sort of an upscale grocery store in upstate New York.
Yeah.
And it was there, watching shoppers, that she had the big light bulb moment.
Which was?
People bought all this great food, but they had no clue what to actually do with it once they got home. They needed simple, fast ideas.
Okay. So she saw the gap.
She saw the gap. So what does she do? She starts teaching free cooking classes right there in the store. And the hook was brilliant. Every meal done in under 30 minutes.
That's the seed of 30-minute meals.
That's the seed. It started super local, just a community thing, but it caught on, led to local TV spots. And that eventually got her noticed by Food Network around 2001. 30-minute meals premieres. And boom, it just took off. Not because it was fancy, but because it was just so damn useful.
So strategically, she basically sidestepped the whole traditional path. No restaurant, no culinary school.
Totally bypassed it. No gatekeepers telling her she wasn't qualified. She built her brand purely on accessibility. And then she scaled that accessibility into a media machine.
And she didn't just stick with the one show, did she?
No way. Once she had their audience, she diversified. Launched $40 a day, Inside Dish, Rachael Ray's Tasty Travels, creating multiple content streams, all feeding that core audience.
But the really big move, the game changer, was the talk show, wasn't it?
Oh, the talk show in 2006 was the absolute masterstroke. That wasn't just cooking anymore. It was full-on daytime lifestyle. Celebrities, makeovers, human interest stories, kind of like Oprah meets Food Network, all centered around her personality.
And it ran for ages.
17 seasons, nearly 3,000 episodes, won 3 daytime Emmys. That cemented her. She wasn't just a Food Network star. She was a major media brand, period.
And she was smart about leveraging that attention.
Yeah, right.
Not just being famous, but owning the business behind it.
Exactly. She understood that attention is fleeting, but ownership builds wealth. So she expanded horizontally. Over 30 cookbooks, millions sold. Co-created the Everyday with Rachael Ray magazine, which ran for over a decade.
Collaborations with big names, too, like Nabisco, Dunkin' Donuts.
Yep. And then the really huge one, Nutrish Pet Food in 2008. Inspired by her own dog, Isabu. She built that brand up and eventually sold it in 2018, reportedly for hundreds of millions.
Right, okay.
So you see the brilliance. Each part fed the others. The show promoted the books reinforced the brand sold the products. It was this perfect 360-degree loop.
She owned the whole value chain, media, merchandise, message.
Pretty much. And notice what she didn't do. No restaurant chains, no risky tech startups. She just scaled what was working and stayed laser-focused in the lane she'd created for herself.
Which really makes you wonder, how did she manage to capture all that attention, diversify so effectively without losing focus, and build this whole thing without the usual credentials or investors?
It boils down to consistency, trust, and honestly impeccable timing.
Let's talk about how she actually works.
Yeah.
Because Rachael Ray, in the kitchen, she's not like other TV chefs, is she? It's always seemed a bit chaotic.
Chaotic is a good word. Yeah, she doesn't meticulously prep everything in little bowls. She eyeballs measurements. She famously chops veggies right on the stove sometimes. No fancy plating. Critics definitely called her messy. Food purists probably shuddered.
But her audience loved it, right?
Yeah.
Why did that connect?
I think it boils down to what you might call radical authenticity. She never tried to be something she wasn't. She didn't try to fit into that polished fine dining mold. She just leaned right into her imperfections.
Laughing at mistakes, burning stuff occasionally.
Exactly. It wasn't a performance of being relatable. It felt like genuine presence, like you were really just hanging out in her kitchen. And that made millions of regular people feel like, hey, if she can do it like that, maybe I can too. It removed the intimidation factor.
Okay, so authenticity is one key habit. What else? Because showing up 5 days a week on TV for almost 20 years, that takes serious discipline.
Oh, relentless consistency is huge for her. People who worked with her talk about her showing up even when she was sick, voice hoarse, totally exhausted. It wasn't about waiting for inspiration. It was about rhythm and just doing the work.
And behind the scenes, was she just the face or deeply involved?
Deeply involved. That's another key habit. She was apparently involved in every product decision, like her famous garbage bowl, that simple bowl for countertop scraps. That was her idea. Same with her moppings, those kitchen towels that double as mitts.
Practical stuff.
Totally practical. She tested everything in her own home. She worked directly with nutritionists for Nutrish. She had that line, I wouldn't put my name on anything I wouldn't use myself. And by all accounts, that was absolutely true. It wasn't just branding. It was a genuine habit of care and belief in the product.
There's also this sense of speed about her, right? She talks fast, works fast. 30-minute meals wasn't just a show title.
It was basically her operating system. Yeah, speed is a defining trait. She thinks fast, cooks fast.
Yeah.
She reportedly could prep a week's worth of meals in just a couple of hours. It's this instinct for compressing time, energy, attention. That's a huge part of why her brand felt so relevant to busy people.
But did that speed come across as, like, impersonal?
Apparently not. That's the interesting thing. Despite the speed, people talk about her amazing ability to connect, remembering crew members' names, writing handwritten notes, fostering real loyalty. Her longtime producers call her incredibly loyal. She ran her empire more like a big family kitchen than a cold boardroom.
So when you add it all up, the habits aren't flashy, are they?
Not at all. They're very human. Stay close to the product, stay close to your people, stay close to your purpose. She understood that for most people, food isn't about perfect technique. It's about connection, saving time, showing love, just getting through the day.
Be consistent, be real, be useful.
That's pretty much it. She didn't teach people to cook like pros. She taught them to cook like themselves, just maybe a little faster and with more confidence.
Okay, so underlying all the strategy and the habits, there seems to be this core philosophy driving her.
Yeah.
You mentioned she saw food as solving problems, but it feels deeper than that.
Oh, definitely. Her foundational philosophy, the thing she comes back to again and again, is incredibly simple. Food is love. For her, cooking isn't about showing off, it's a gesture. It's how you take care of people.
And that guided her business decisions too, not just her cooking style.
Absolutely. It explains why she pushed back for so long against being called a chef. She'd always say, I don't have a restaurant, I don't have a culinary degree, I'm just someone who loves feeding people. That humility wasn't false modesty, it genuinely shaped her judgment and kept her grounded. While others chased prestige, she chased connection.
But how does food is love translate when, say, the market trends are going in a different direction? Like launching a print magazine every day with Rachael Ray in 2005 when everyone was saying print was dying. That seems risky.
It seems risky if you're only looking at industry reports, right? But Rachael wasn't following the standard playbook. She wasn't building for media analysts. She was building for that person, likely a woman, standing in the grocery checkout line, needing ideas for dinner that night.
So it was intuitive, based on who she knew her audience was.
Exactly. It was pure empathy over data points. She had this deep, intuitive understanding of her audience's lives, their pressures, what they genuinely needed. That was her compass. It's why she never endorsed products she didn't personally believe in or use. That consistency built incredible trust over time.
And that trust carried her through changes, like when her talk show ended.
Totally. When the show wrapped in 2023, after 17 years, there wasn't the sense of panic or scrambling. She just pivoted back to her roots. She launched Free Food Studios.
What's the focus there?
It's about creative freedom, telling stories around food, home, family, her core themes, but without the constraints of traditional network structures or sponsors. It's about owning the narrative again, on her terms.
So there's this kind of anti-strategic strategy almost.
Yeah.
Trusting her gut over algorithms.
It might look anti-strategic from the outside, yeah. But in a world obsessed with metrics, maybe that deep conviction is the real strategy. It's arguably why her brand has endured for nearly 25 years through economic downturns, media shifts, a pandemic.
She has that quote, something like, "Success isn't about thinking you're right."
It comes from knowing who you're doing it for. That's her core. Her compass isn't just what sells or what scales, but what serves. And maybe there's something to that idea. If you genuinely love what you're putting out there, eventually the world connects with it. That kind of endurance often outlasts the quick viral hit.
When you think about power and influence, Rachael Ray's version feels different, doesn't it? She's not like these mogul types who dominate headlines or command industries with an iron fist.
No, her influence is much quieter, but incredibly vast and lasting. It's earned power, not demanded. She once joked, I don't know how to be famous, I just know how to talk to people. And that really nails it, I think.
She didn't just build an audience, she shifted the culture around cooking, didn't she?
Absolutely. Before her, cooking shows were often these formal demonstrations. Maybe a bit intimidating, definitely aspirational. Rachael made everyday cooking feel like entertainment, like comfort, like something you could actually talk about with friends. She normalized the quick weeknight meal.
And the reach became massive. Time magazine's 100 most influential people in 2006. That's huge.
Huge! And that was the same year her talk show went into national syndication. She wasn't just a Food Network personality anymore. She was reaching everyone, working parents, retirees, college kids. It was truly generational.
But she never seemed to project that power hierarchy, you know?
Exactly. Her influence was built on proximity. She felt like she was cooking beside you, not lecturing at you, letting people into her actual home kitchen during the pandemic, filming on an iPhone that just reinforced it. She made power feel human, accessible.
And while everyone else was chasing clicks and going viral.
She was cultivating trust. Trust in her recipes working, trust in her product recommendations, trust in her just being Rachael. That trust is the real currency she built her empire on. It's why people bought millions of her books, why Nutrish took off, why her cookware still sells so well.
Maybe her smartest move was staying focused, not trying to be everything.
I think that's a huge part of it. She picked her lane, real food for real people, and just went incredibly deep. That depth became her authority. In a world obsessed with breadth and reach, she mastered relevance within her chosen space.
And she extended that beyond just business with her Yemo nonprofit.
Right, launched in 2007, focused on teaching kids and families about healthy cooking. It wasn't some afterthought PR move. It felt like a natural extension of her core mission, empowering people through simplicity, starting in the kitchen.
So her power isn't loud, but it sticks around.
It resonates, it lingers, it multiplies quietly, people sharing recipes, giving her cookbooks as gifts. It's more heritage than hype. Real influence maybe isn't about control at all, it's about contribution. And she contributed something really valuable, confidence and comfort in the everyday.
Resilience seems to be another major theme. And she faced a really significant personal crisis just a few years ago, right?
Yeah, in August 2020, her home in upstate New York, the one viewers saw so much of, completely burned down, devastating loss.
But her public response was quite striking.
It really was. She didn't dwell on the tragedy in interviews. Instead, she said something like, "Stuff is stuff, we're safe, and we start over." It was this incredibly calm, pragmatic reaction. It felt like a live demonstration of how she handles crisis, not with panic, but with a pivot. Just,
Right.
okay, what's next?
And that adaptability showed up during COVID too, didn't it?
Oh, big time. Just months before the fire, when everything shut down, she didn't wait for the studio to figure things out. She grabbed an iPhone, her husband, John Cusimano, helped film, and they just started shooting the Rachael Ray show right there in their home kitchen.
And people stayed tuned in.
They did. Ratings held, sponsors stayed. Many viewers actually said it felt more real, more connected. It showed that even in chaos, she could lean into the moment, trust her connection with the audience, and just keep going.
So this ability to adapt, it's not just personal strength, it's baked into her business strategy.
I think so. Her empire wasn't built on rigid, immovable systems. It feels more like she stayed emotionally agile and operationally lean. She doesn't seem to overextend or become overly reliant on any single platform. Her core assets, her brand, her content ideas, they can move with the market.
Which brings us back to the end of the talk show and the launch of Free Food Studios. That wasn't an ending, but another pivot.
Exactly. She didn't frame it as, oh no, my show is over. She framed it as, okay, now I have the freedom to create differently. Launching her own production company gives her control over the whole pipeline, ownership of the rights, the ability to tell stories without network filters. It's a legacy pivot moving from being the talent to being the source.
And she's not desperately trying to be relevant on, like, TikTok or whatever the latest thing is.
No, she seems to be playing a longer game, one that's rooted in that trust she built, a bit of nostalgia maybe, but also evolving with her core audience as their lives change.
So resilience through relevance, that's kind of her secret weapon.
It feels like it. She doesn't fight change. She seems to just outlast it. By keeping her core values solid but her methods flexible, she stayed relevant across different media formats for decades. It's a powerful reminder, isn't it? In a world obsessed with speed and noise.
What endures isn't always the loudest thing.
Sometimes it's just the person who keeps showing up, apron on, sleeves rolled up, saying, okay, let's cook something simple today. It's not about being everywhere all the time. It's about still being here. Consistently.
So she didn't begin with some grand plan, just a grocery bag, a need she saw, and that 30-minute timer. Rachael Ray's whole story, it really wasn't about becoming a culinary icon.
No, it feels more like human genius, the kind that genuinely sees what people need and then figures out how to build something real and helpful around it. She didn't need the Michelin star or the VC funding or the fancy restaurant to make a massive impact.
What she had was clarity.
Yeah, clarity seems like the right word. Clarity about who she was serving, and why any of it mattered. And that clarity just guided her through everything, the fame, the fire, the shifts in media. She stayed on course by sticking to what felt true to her.
It's not an overnight success story at all.
Not even close. It's about repetition, constant reinvention within her niche, and this radical trust in herself, her audience, and the idea that simple, helpful things can add up to something huge. Her empire wasn't built by disrupting industries. It was built by serving people.
And the wealth came from accessibility, not exclusivity. She made normal life feel okay, even good.
Yeah, not by glamorizing it, but just by validating it, by showing up for it.
And maybe that's the quiet truth we can all take away. You don't have to be the absolute best in a field to build something meaningful, something great.
You just have to be the one who shows up consistently, for real people, with real value, over a really long time. Because maybe legacy isn't about making the most noise. Maybe it's about providing nourishment, literally and figuratively.
And Rachael Ray, she's definitely been feeding people more than just quick meals. She fed this belief that you don't need to be perfect to be powerful. You just need to be present. So think about that for yourself. Maybe you don't feel like you have the perfect plan right now. Maybe you're waiting for the degree, the right connections, the funding, waiting until you feel ready or more qualified.
But what if all you really need is what Rachael Ray started with, identifying a real problem someone has, finding a simple way you can help or serve, and just having the courage to start right where you are now?
Her empire didn't start with millions. It started with 30 minutes and a genuine desire to help someone get dinner on the table. So maybe consider this. What's your 30-minute idea? What simple problem could you start solving for real people starting today? You honestly never know who needs it or what it could grow into.